All right, let's talk about Rashee Rice of the Kansas City Chiefs, a player who, was a second round pick last year. Not a huge hyped up prospect, not one talked about too much, but ended up being the wide receiver number one on a Super Bowl winning team. And listen, we can talk about, Travis Kelce's the real number one option, sure, but he was still a important piece. And I want to talk about not really how important he was last year, but instead looking forward. How good can he be next year for the Chiefs, who hopefully will have a better receiving core? Thought it could make for an interesting preview video, so let's just get into it. And we're going to start off with a play like this. This is a lot of what Rice did really well last year for Kansas City. Is something like this, where it's a zone coverage concept. You have, it's actually Travis Kelce running a deep shot, kind of just clearing out space, as Rice is going to run more underneath. Of course, Kelce's going to get a lot of attention, so, okay, sure, makes sense. When this play begins, Mahomes takes the snap, looks over towards Rice, and you see that there is a little bit of a window over the middle. So, if Mahomes makes the catch, Rice could try and run and pick up some yards. But one of the things Rice just does a great job at is getting just more yards than you're expecting him to get on these plays. Watch how Mahomes gets it to Rice. Watch him turn his shoulder quickly, gets nearly into the end zone, but gets a lot of yards there. And that's really what's turned into one of his calling cards, in a sense, is just being able to, turn and run and get more yards after the catch on these underneath zone coverage plays. For example, this play, it's going to be, currently a zone coverage concept once again. You have Rashee Rice running once again a more underneath type route, just trying to get into a gap in coverage. Okay, simple enough. Once again, Mahomes takes a snap, is going to, quickly fire it towards Rice. Again, this part is nothing special. This is just, hopefully being able to hit the open guy. Okay, fine. But again, I think what you're expecting a lot of the times when watching this play is, sure, Rice is going to make the catch, kind of fall past the first down marker. You're in field goal range now. Good work. But instead, watch Rice turn the corner, gets around a guy, and is able to get all the way to the 25-yard line. Like, that's a great play by Rashee Rice to pull that kind of thing off. And you just don't see other guys really doing that. And again, it's a small thing. It looks like, oh, hey, you made a guy miss. Good work. But that's a 15-yard difference. I mean, that's the difference between being at the 40 or being at the 25. So these little things really do add up. And then it can work in ways like this, where this is a bit of a, again, simple concept, just kind of running out to the flat towards the top of the screen. Mahomes takes the snap. He is going to look in that direction. Eventually just flips it towards Rice, who's kind of underneath right here. And you see that there is a linebacker for Denver running over to try and make the tackle. Okay, simple enough. You got a shot at the first down marker, right? That's what you're thinking if you're a Chiefs fan. Hey, maybe we'll get the first down on this play. Come on, Rice, let's do that. Well, it's not just going to be that. Again, watch him run by that linebacker, and instead of getting tackled at the 50, he gets tackled inside the 25 at around the 22-yard line. He actually never even went out of bounds in that scenario. That's a 28-yard difference in making that play work. And I think part of it is he runs so fast, you barely notice how many extra yards he got when you do these things. So when you're watching him play, you're not even really noticing how much of a difference it was, but it really was a big difference. So his run after the catch ability was a real positive for the Kansas City Chiefs, and part of why towards the end of the year they were making sure to get him the ball as much as possible. But of course, you need to do more than that. I mean, at the end of the day, if a team's going to pay attention to you, then running after the catch doesn't matter if you don't make the catch in the first place. Can he get open enough? Can he get one-on-ones consistently? And can he win in those situations? Well, let's go over to a play like this. Again, Andy Reid, very good at scheming up situations like this one. It's a good route in a third down and goal situation. This is a one-on-one matchup, so trying to get a touchdown here. And you see Rice on this play. Watch him really fight for that inside leverage. That's what he knows he needs in this situation, as the benefit of having Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback is you don't have to get wide open. Give yourself a window, and that's what he's doing right here. But of course, you're going to have to also be able to make the grab. It's not going to be the easiest grab. It's going to be a bit of a contested catch. However, Mahomes puts this one right on the money, and Rice is able to make the grab, takes the hit, but gets into the end zone for a touchdown. And it's plays like this that earned Mahomes' trust early on in the season, and were part of why he got a lot more trust later on as the season progressed. And I think part of why the Chiefs' offense looked a lot better as the season went along is we did see, especially towards the end of the years, that's when we really saw Rice kind of emerge as like the clear number 2 option behind Kelce. And also something like this, where what's going to happen is it's just a one-on-one matchup on the outside, essentially. Cincinnati corner is going to kind of play as though it's zone a little bit, but there's no one past him, so I'm not sure exactly if there was a miscommunication or what. But regardless, you see that when Rice is going to run, just kind of goes right by him. The Bengals corner is looking to play the ball a little bit. But again, this is where speed comes in. I am curious if the Chiefs will try this more. Rice didn't really do this a ton last year. In fact, no one on the Chiefs did this a ton last year. I do wonder if, Xavier Worthy maybe taking the top off the defense, maybe getting safeties on one side of the field a little more. Do the Chiefs try this with Rice more? And obviously Marquise Brown as well has been added to the mix. Well, as you see, this is going to be a beautifully thrown football, and Rice is able to pick up a ton of yards, doesn't quite get into the end zone for a touchdown, but gets pretty close, and at least picks up up a big gain, which is a nice play that the Chiefs can just implement there. Again, don't know how often they're going to do that, but I could see them maybe trying it, and it's nice to know that he at least is capable of doing that here and there. It's interesting, I've talked, one of the stats that I've brought up is that, and I think it's since the data goes back to the past 13 years or so, there has yet to be a team make the Super Bowl with a below average receiving core according to PFF grades, and the Chiefs last year just barely made the cutoff. They were just barely above that bottom half, so they were eligible and then won the Super Bowl. So I do think that, again, it's a stat that I think eventually a team will come around and be able to make the Super Bowl or win it without that great receiving core, or even a solid receiving core. But it's worth mentioning that you need at least usually it really helps to have a solid receiving core. Let's just say that. If receiving core is a weakness, then you're probably going to struggle. And it was a weakness at times last year, and they struggled at times last year. But once it got going, it was able to be effective. And for Rice, I do think that he really brings some nice stuff to this Kansas City Chiefs team. And looking forward to next year, they have to make sure that they don't have those issues they had last year. And I think that while they've certainly gone out and, added some pieces that they're hoping can help. Marquise Brown is someone they're definitely hoping can bring a lot of nice things to them. He's been a pretty good player so far in his career, and maybe hasn't always been worth a first-round pick, despite multiple teams spending a first-round pick on him. Is still a valuable piece and should help out. Xavier Worthy, really fast guy. We'll see how much he helps out. Is a pretty raw rookie, but we'll see. But having a guy like Rashee Rice, and, I also bring up Kelsey, not getting any younger, right? So there's that concern. But for Rice, he feels like a complete constant. You kind of know he's going to be pretty good next year, and that's nice to see. Now, again, I should mention just the elephant in the room. He's probably going to be suspended. It looks like that's how things are going, or at least there's a good chance he could be suspended. Adam Schefter has reported that he thinks it's looking like Rice is going to be suspended for multiple games. Now, I don't know how much of a suspension it's going to be. I don't think he's going to miss the whole year or even half the year or anything like that. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. So I do think that it could hurt to start the year, but I also do think that Rice is a really good player and really going to help out the Chiefs once he, serves whatever suspension, or maybe it takes another year before the legal proceedings all go through and all of that stuff. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Google, you can Google around to figure out exactly that. But just on the field, those are kind of my thoughts on Rice and what he can do for the Kansas City Chiefs. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.